Black Art Perspective. Well, hello and good morning. Welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart, and I would just like to say hello to all of you. We're going to look today at a very special topic, in my opinion, because a lot of people were having a bit of a fit just recently. Just recently. A lot of people are a little upset. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. What we're taking a look at today is the controversy dealing with the Cracker Barrel situation. Now, last week when I saw this, I thought, okay, well, let me pull some things together so we can talk about it. So what I want to tell you guys is I know a lot of people were a little upset. I know that some folk were making complaints because they were like, gee whiz, why don't they just bring it back and make it look the way that it used to look? And why are they doing this now? And why is everybody so woke and all this other stuff? Well, the truth about the matter is they're tripping on that. And I was amazed because I thought to myself, while everybody is upset about that, some of the same exact type of people are the ones that get a little angry when they think about, oh my God, Larry Fink, he's over there with the, is it the WEF now? Is it the WEF? I think that's who it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. So we're going to get into it. What we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to listen to what they say about the projections of the company. And then I'm going to break down, Vanguard's amount that they own, as well as BlackRock, how much they own. Because it's important that when we start talking about the false flags and the things that everybody say, oh, this is a false flag and that's a false flag. I submit that a lot of this stuff is distraction. Because if you were to look at the bigger portion or the bigger picture, you might not like it after all. Case in point, everybody and their mama was upset. And it's the same exact people who are the ones saying, oh my God, look, who just took Klaus Schwab's place. And oh, look, this one just did this and that. And my thing is okay, well, did you know? Do you even care? Do you have any concern? So what we're looking at right now is going to be a news article. I want you guys to listen to this. And it's just a general conversation about, the company, why they had to make the move. And then they, of course, as you know, they already moved back to the other way it was. But I submit that it was to take your eyes off of a lot of stuff. So let's get into this story. And it is coming from Fox Business. Cracker Barrel apologizes after the rebrand backlash. I don't think it was an accident. I think they did it on purpose. But you tell me what you think down below. Let me see if I can make this the full screen. Go ahead and give it
Bar
to me.
Rescue host John Taffer joining us this morning. Yeah, you help struggling businesses bounce back. So what's your advice to Cracker Barrel?
Well, three things to it. First of all, I own a bunch of companies and I operate a bunch of companies. Think about this. The marketing people, the graphic people, the interior design people, and the executive team get paid to understand their customer. They get paid to react to the likes of that customer. Every one of them completely blew it. So as a CEO, the first thing I would do is get them all out of this. They should not be making any decisions going forward, especially the CEO. That's been proven. Next, if you take a look at what the concept is, it has an authenticity to it. Concepts that have authenticity need to be respected. Stuart, you've been on TV a long time. You're as authentic as it gets. If you lost that authenticity, what would you be? So what happened to Cracker Barrel is they tossed away their authenticity. They tossed away who they are. Now they're saying, well, we're going to test and do more. So they're saying, so we're going to be less authentic going forward. The decisions, the discussions that they're making are absurd. They should all be disempowered from making decisions going forward. Every single one of them. Next, what the president said is in fact true. The entire country is watching and listening to this. Think of that opportunity, Stuart.
Yes.
What if they said, you know what? We're going to put out 5 or 6 logos. We want you to vote on them.
Yes, good.
We're going to put in 3 menu items. We're not going to change the interior.
Yeah.
We're just going to make it better. We learned who we are. Can you imagine, Stuart, the exposure of the logo contest, the exposure of the new menu items, the exposure of making the interior better, not different, embrace? Their numbers would be going up 10%, not down 10%.
You got it.
You know, this is marketing 101, Stuart. They blew it big time, and they should all be disempowered.
John, I left a little time for this. You're opening a new restaurant in Georgia. I want to know what kind of restaurant it is, what's on the menu, who's your target market for your new restaurant? Tell us.
Well, you know, we opened our first Tavern's Tavern on your show, Stuart, in the middle of the pandemic at Alpharetta, Georgia. This is our 3rd location in Georgia. We've since opened in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and now this is downtown on Peachtree. So it has our same elevated tavern menu, which we've done so well with in Alpharetta for 5 years. We're also opening on International Drive in Orlando, in Florida, about the same time, mid-September. So the tavern's doing great, Stuart. And think about it. It all started with you and I talking about this years ago.
That's flattery. John, I know flattery when I see it, and I kind of like it too, okay? we wish you the very best of luck with the new restaurant. You are a mogul, and you're welcome back on the show anytime you like. John Taffer, everyone. Good man.
All right, so you heard John Taffer basically outlining, how these things work. When is it a good idea to do it? Did they decide that they were going to do it at the right way, the right point? The point is the place is racist. Plain and simple. Don't like it, it's okay. I'm saying it. I've been there before. The first time that I ate there, it was cool. It was no problem. But the last few times that I ate there here in Alabama, the very last time that I just said, I'm not dealing with it anymore. I got up, my son and I, and we left. We let the lady take our order, but it was just so many things that happened prior to us even getting to the point of taking the order. My son and I at the same time looked at each other and we said, we got to go. So we thanked the hostess who seated us and we left. That was it. We don't want the food. We don't want anything. I don't trust the food. When somebody says, I hope you like your food, and the way she said it, the spirit with which she said it. So I was done with it. And I don't care what nobody think about it. I'm not eating someplace where I can see that people have an issue. So whether or not they are going to fix it, I don't know. Are they going to be able to fix their reputation here in the South? I don't know. Did they have good food? Sure, they did. Did I enjoy it when I did have a decent experience when I lived in Georgia eating there? Yeah. When I came to Alabama, not so much. But with that in mind, they have a lot of work that they need to do as a company. But what I really want to get into is all of the good stuff, right? Because the issue is really unpacking all of this as it relates to, who owns it. You may or may not know, but the Cracker Barrel was born in 1969 in Lebanon, Tennessee, thanks to Dan Evans, a Shell oil salesman who borrowed $40,000 to build a roadside restaurant and a gift shop combo. That's the reason why I liked it. I like the combo. I like that old school feeling. I like being able to go in and get the little trinkets. And they even had old school candy. You could even go in there and get those little sour balls and the cherry balls and all those little candies and stuff. I like that kind of stuff. It reminds me of when I was a little kid. I really do. I like that old country time store place, feeling. Reminded me when I lived in Missouri out in St. Roberts and Waynesville. I loved that. Remind me when we used to go fishing, we used to go get our bait and tackle and all of our stuff from one location that had that old school feeling. I like it. That's just me. That's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, because of the gift shop, the combo that was aimed at highway travelers. It says it wasn't meant to be a cult favorite. It was simply, quietly there is really what it was. But over time, it did grow into a nationally recognized brand. Evans stepped away back in 2001. And after he passed away in 2012, no family took over because Cracker Barrel had become a public company traded on the CBRL on NASDAQ, what you just saw when they were talking with Mr. Tapper, where the control belongs to the shareholders and a board of directors. There's no secret buyouts, just corporate structure. Today, the board is helmed by Carl T. Berquist as chairman and Julie Fles Machino as the CEO since the mid-2023 era, both charged with steering what became an old school chain toward modernization. To me, that's probably not the right idea to go, because people who go to certain places like a specific feel. And unless you're broke or you're having financial issues because of the change, I don't think that it's wise to get into stuff and started changing it. But that was one of the things that they were charged to do. And so that's what they attempted to do. Those two individuals together were responsible for, sort of steering everything in another way. But for me, whenever I look at old logos and I look at old things, I'm like, don't. And I guess it's also because of age. You know what I mean? I think it's just also because of age. When you get a certain age, you just like stuff a certain way, and that's just how I am. I don't like a lot of stuff changing. I don't like a lot of stuff changing. So that's pretty much where we are. Let me see here. There I am. I'm like, where am I? Where are you guys? Oh, anyway, for those of you guys who are off work today, happy Labor Day. I guess we won't be wearing our white clothes after this. I don't know. Maybe I'm still rocking my white, but I lost my place. I had written this up for you guys so wonderfully. Anyway, let me just tell you guys that the main people who own it, very main people who own it, let me give that to you. Okay, so they were both charged with steering what had become an old school chain toward modernization, at least until the internet exploded. The board also includes names like Giselle Ruiz, Jody Blaney, Daryl Wade, and newcomer Steve Bromledge, who joined May of 2025 with the serious retail and finance credentials. Now, institutional ownership. It's a boring list, but it is very important. BlackRock holds 15% of the company. Vanguard holds about 11 to 12% of the company. That's a lot when you consider how many shares they have. And the GMT Capital controls 9 to 12%, all through index and active funds. Now, you got to enter the human disruptor, who is an Iranian man who actually gave his citizenship up and became an American citizen. And his name is Sardar Biglari. He's an Iranian-born American entrepreneur running Biglari Holdings. He's the owner of Steak and Shake. That's another company that needs some help. I stopped eating there years and years ago. Ugh, gross, but that's just my personal opinion. Maxim and other brands. He started buying up Cracker Barrel shares. Say it 3 times with me. Cracker Barrel shares. Okay. Back in 2011, eventually holding a 9% stake and leading 7 proxy fights to shake up the company. In 2022, he finally got a board seat through a truce, but his battle at the shareholder level never really ended. Then came in 2025, and the logo fiasco just started happening. So Cracker Barrel decides to drop the iconic old timer on a barrel. Really, the only thing I have against the company is my last 3 experiences with them here in Alabama. I didn't find a problem with the rocking chairs in the front. I didn't find a problem with the old timer and the barrel. It didn't bug me. But anyway, the logo, they wanted to change that logo in favor of minimalist word mark. Which is just the name. So then outrage went up. Customers called in an act of erasing Americana. President Trump piled on, demanding the return of the logo. Cracker Barrel caved in, reinstating the old symbol, and Biglari, he sized it as an opportunity to call for firings. Post megastyle merch and cry brand heritage sacrilege. Suddenly, the corporate battle became a national morality play. And here's the irony. The very same people that were screaming out about racism or cultural erasure in the logo are usually the ones who've never checked who actually owns the company, which was my reason for even pulling all the data and information that I had in the first place, because that's what I felt. I'm like, do they even know who Vanguard is? Do you know that the Vanguard and BlackRock both own shares in a company they own a lot more than everybody else because they are the same company. It's like the letter, it's like the number 8, it's like the serpent eating its tail. It's actually them. Vanguard, BlackRock, same people, in my impression, same people. But I was tripping. I was like, all of these people are flipping out about a logo, but nobody's saying anything about this. Okay, no problem. So they don't know that it's a public company with deep institutional shareholders. They don't know about the board's 2023 restructuring. Yet they'll angrily retweet, call for resignations, and declare DEI wokeism because someone pushed one design pixel too far. Meanwhile, Big Larry, never one to let publicity go to waste. He used the limelight to push his agenda. He criticized Cracker Barrel's $700 million remodeling plan as wasteful and then chided the board for ignoring blended strategy and cost control in favor of trend-driven aesthetics, all the while leading into an image of an image of austerity and authenticity. Bottom line for you, if you're listening to me, it isn't about the mud flaps or the logos or about anything else. It's about governism, activism, and who controls your nostalgia. Investors and everybody else is always trying to make you feel as if you owe them something, and we're going to fix this for you if you come over here. We're going to make it look like this if you come and shop with us. We're going to make you feel like this or that. Just keep it the way that you started it. And how about taking care of the raggedy people that work for you? Leave it the way that it is, because in my impression, changing the logo didn't help one bit. I didn't care whether you changed it or not. My last 3 experiences told me I wasn't giving you my coins. You're not giving me my money and going to treat me like I'm some slave. That's not happening. That ain't happening. I'm sorry. I'm not giving you my money to treat me bad. How about that? I'm not giving you my money to treat me bad. I'm just not. So for me to see all of that and all the hoopla and everybody going off and going crazy and losing their minds and all that other stuff, I said, wow, these people are a trip. People without knowledge and information, they just go off. They just go cuckoo. So now let's look. Now I'm going to give you guys some information, which you probably are. No, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. We're just going to go with it. Okay. We're just going to go with what you do know, what you don't know. You might know. All righty. So now the amounts of recent filings, the largest shareholders include institutional investors like Vanguard and BlackRock, who are both American-based asset managers. But you and I know that they're not just American asset managers, because once you start to dig and dig and dig, you start to find out there's a lot of over the water people dealing with that. Big Larry. So now let's look at this. We know who the faces are. When we think of BlackRock, we think of Fink. When we think of Vanguard, I don't know who we think of because I don't really think of no names. But anyway, Big Larry, American investment firm by Sardar Biglari. Wow. He's from Iran, born in Iran, and gave up his citizenship to become an American citizen. Where's his loyalties, though? How can you be raised someplace and just because you give it up to go somewhere else, your citizenship, where's your loyalty really lie, though? That's a good question. I'm just throwing a question out there because I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, the citizenship of the players, of course, is Vanguard Group, which is an American-based American corporation. BlackRock, a U.S.-based American corporation. Sardar Biglari, born in Persia, which, as we know, is Iran. Immigrated in the United States as a little boy. What did his mom and daddy feel? I don't know. He became a naturalized American citizen, and there is no evidence in SEC filings, reports that shows that he holds his dual citizenship. He doesn't. So the bottom line is that after Mr. Dan died, there was not one person themselves that took it because the company was already public, right? So here we go. That's just it. There's nothing else. I don't have anything else. Just Vanguard, BlackRock, Sardar, and then there are some other smaller companies, which I'm sure that if we started to do pulling up those names, if I really started to do that, I'd find a whole lot more. But other than that, that's the only reason why I wanted to bring it up to you guys. That's it. That's all. Because I wanted to say, why is everybody flipping out over a logo when you got so much more that you could be looking at? So much more. So much more you could be picking on, feeling neglected about. Everybody got a little upset about the wokeism, but I knew that that was just a temporary thing. And no matter what you think, all of this is being done by design. There's nothing that's being left on the table or left on the cutting floor. There's no remnant that's not going to be used to take control. Everything is about control. There's nothing that's, there's nothing that's not about control. Period. No matter who you are, no matter what side of the fence you're sitting on, this is that. We're gonna give you so much security and safety until you just don't have no control over your life. We're going to take care of you, baby. We're going to do everything. Don't worry about, about the restaurant. Don't worry about how bad they treated you, Felicia. You can just do whatever you want to do, sweetie. Just come on back. That is a problem I see across the board when it comes to companies restructuring. And did you notice, I don't know whether you guys notice it or not, but if you have younger nieces, nephews, or even children who may be working in retail, I want you to ask them, especially for those companies that have changed hands. So you saw Burlington, and then now it was Burlington Coat Factory, and now it's Burlington. Have you guys looked at any of those stores lately? Have you gone inside of any large stores? Do you see how unorganized they are running? I went into a store not long ago. When I went into that store, I could not believe, after talking to a manager, exactly what they believe now. Old people, okay, we're talking people over 50 that are in management at some of these companies. And what they're telling you is, oh, well, we just got bought out by another company, and they don't want us to put people in one specific department. Because you're looking at people who are treating you rudely on the sales floor, and you're like, hey, is that person a front-facing person, or did you just call this person from the back somewhere to help in the time of being packed? Oh, no, we don't do that. We don't just put people in one area. We make them work the whole store. You don't put people that are not front-facing with customers. If a person comes to you and tells you, hey, listen, I'm not, the type of person that I don't work well with customers. I'm great in the stockroom, or I'm great in shipping and receiving, or I'm great in this area. I'm great as a janitor. I'm great. They know what their strengths are, and that's what they applied for. But what they're doing is they're putting down the job descriptions, running the ads, and then when the person gets there, they have to work every area. And did you know that's how we end up with raggedy service with some of these companies that we've known, that we've shopped in for years? And now all of a sudden they have a different company that owns them. They are literally trying to drive everybody to go online. Why do I say that? Because a lot of the companies that are purchasing some of these companies that we know the names of that are still standing, they are owned by the very companies that I just mentioned. They have a lot of ownership by some of the companies that we just talked about. Let that sink in. So if you dismantle customer service, nobody going to want to put up with that. Look at Joann's. Oh, I know we have a tide that has to change, and I get it, but I love Joann's. And now I'm getting little things coming from what's the company, Michael's, saying, hey, if you had this or that, you can still use your coupons over here, or you can come over here and you can use this or that. It bothers me. It bothers me. I'm a creature of habit. What can I say? You know what I mean? I just like stuff a certain way. And that bugs me, but that's primarily what's happening. So if you know anybody who works in retail, talk to them and ask them, hey, I know you guys in your company, whatever company it was, and this is what I'm going to do, folks. I'm actually going to do some digging for us since we're on this topic, and I'm going to look up some stores and look up some things so that I can bring it to us next, and we'll just chat about each one of those companies, because you may be of the time frame that I am. I remember Woolworth, Newberry's. Well, we were out west at the time, but Newberry's and Woolworth and Woolco and all of those stores, and they all were about customer service. When we were trained to work as, high school students or whatever, we were all taught about customer service. But now when you get in a store, you don't even see anybody. So I submit that Cracker Barrel's issue was not their logo. Their issue was they needed to tighten up the team members. They needed to, if it was me and I had come into that company like this person did in 2025 here this year, what I would have done is I would have taken all of the reviews that I could publicly find, not ones that the company could manipulate, but things like maybe the Google reviews. There are some other companies that allow reviews without them being manipulated or changed. I would have taken all those reviews and taken a team and we would have pawed over all of them. We would have looked and found out exactly what the customer complained about, whether it was the quality of food, the amount of time that they had to wait. We had to wait the last time when my son and I decided not to go. Do you realize that place was almost empty and they made us wait for 30 minutes? And what did I do for 30 minutes? I was out there in that country store part looking around for stuff until I finally dawned on me that, hey, wait a minute. We've been here a little too long. We need to go check out what's up. And that's what we did. But we were there for 30 minutes. And then once we went up to the counter, the little podium, and said, hey, we're just wondering, how much longer is it going to be? And the lady, took a deep breath. I don't know. Let me go and see if they're ready for you. That was a telltale sign. If they're ready for us, okay, cool, no worries. If they're ready for you, all right, no worries. Then when we get to sit down, we're sitting there another 10 minutes. Nobody comes over and says, hi, I'm going to be your server, or can I get you some water or coffee until your server comes? Nothing. But there were people that were sitting on the other side of us that had come in after we came, and they were getting service. So I don't know. Maybe they don't like plus size women. I could have thought a lot of ways. Well, I am plus size. Maybe they don't like plus size sisters, or maybe they don't like guys that have, dreadlocks, or about my son, or, maybe they don't like this. Could have been a lot of things. But after one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and then we get the person who is the waitress and she's a nightmare. I'm not giving you my coins. I'm just not doing it. For that, I can go make some pancakes at the house. All right. I can give me some turkey bacon and some pancakes at the house. I don't need you for that. And then don't even know what's coming in. It's just you can keep it all. But with that in mind, that is what I would have done. I would have taken a big group, a focus group, and sat down and figured out exactly what the problem is so that we can fix it internally. That is what I would have done. I would have done that versus mess with the logo. Now, if I really wanted the logo to change, would I have changed it? I sure would. But you know what? I would have done it after I had proven to the customers that we can be trusted with your time, with your money. We can be trusted. You can come here and you can trust that we're going to give you the utmost, customer service. The food is going to be nice. Your wait is going to be, respected. Your time is going to be respected, and you're going to come in. And then you know what? After that happens, you can change anything you want. You can change anything you want. They could have changed it this time and called it the Mandela effect. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Just change it and just say, oh, really? Oh, y'all noticed that? I wouldn't have made a stink about it at all. But I think the reason why they wanted to make sure that you were focused, or people were focused on that logo, was because of all of the big brouhaha that had just happened with Fink taking over Klaus Schwab's position. Call me goofy, but I'm just saying that's what I had to say. So let me go on ahead here and take a look at some of your comments. Let's see what you got going on here. All right, let's read some of them. Okay, hold on. I have to get close. All right, good morning to you, William. Oh, let's see if we can put some music on. Sha-da-da-da-da-da-doo. Ba-ba-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo. La-da-da-dee-doo. No, just joking. Y'all don't want to hear my music. Let me see what I got. Nothing over there. What do I have over here? Oh, I know what we'll do.
Yeah.
There, now I'll read your comments. Little like music. Please turn the music on. Get over it. Okay. Drea, I will. I'm wearing all the colors after Labor Day. Just to aggravate people. I know that's right. You say you're going to wear white and everything else you want to wear, right? Don't come outside with no bright yellow. I'm going to match it with you, girl. You tell me when you're going to rock your white. I'm going to wear it with you. Sarah says, a lot is going on right now and perhaps unrelated. Black Scout Survival says Trump not the same over the past few days. And since Rudy Giuliani's accident, yeah, he did have an accident, didn't he? Let me tell you guys something. I don't even keep my eyes up to nothing no more. I'm exhausted, right? And I said that when I came back off of that 6-month hiatus or whatever you want to call it. But I'm tired. I'm exhausted, and I don't want to hear anymore. I'm so tired of these people. But anyway, I heard that he had that accident. You guys are loving on each other and saying hello. Drea says, buying up all the eating places to eventually hive mind the nation. And of course, think now over at the WEF. Exactly. So that's the reason why, I feel like that's what it was all about. They closed 2 Cracker Barrels near me in Oregon. I think people thought it was MAGA people supported. It was affordable and good old fashioned. Hey, sis. Sandy Aaron, hello. Drea got her popcorn and her monocle going on and her drink. She got a monocle, a man with a monocle, or a monocle, popcorn, and her beverage. I love it. I want all of it. Well, I'm downstairs cooking. What do I have in the stove right now? Oh, a turkey breast. All right. Anyway, if they want controversy, I'm reading so many of these, and I only have a few people left, so that means I'm probably reading some people who are not here anymore. But nonetheless, if they want controversy, they attach the word woke to it, and watch people lose their minds. People flip out because it's code for certain people group. I agree with that. And they know they'll get a rise enough to distract. That's right. Yes, it's unorganized. All of them are. It's so backwards. The new management is changing the face of shopping. I agree. The goal is to dismantle and push people online. Absolutely. And then you've got these poor folks who work in the community that these buildings or the brick and mortar sit in that don't have any employment anymore. And that just lends to other problems that we already know about. This is in the one I'm referring to, Drea, if you're still here. That's Alabama. No, it's not rocket science. That's racism. Absolutely. That is so wrong. Yepers. All distractions. Every single bit of it is a distraction. And the bad part about it is that, let me tell you guys something. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to lie to kick it. I'm going to be candid, very candid. This whole thing just recently has brought out a lot of ignorance in people. On both sides, there's a lot of commentators that I used to love and enjoy and listen to them. And I see they're a bunch of race baiters. I was like, are you kidding me? We're not going to divide us, are we? Are we going to divide now? I won't even say their names right here, but they know who they are because I mentioned it to them. I went on their pages and I said what I had to say. Because to me, if you cannot see that all of this stuff is orchestrated, this is a mess. The weaker minded people are literally acting out with all of the trash that's going on in media, believing a lot of the stuff that they're seeing right now. And to me, that is such a dangerous situation for people to act out based on the stuff that they're allowed to see in media or that media is sharing and pushing and promulgating. That's not cool. Why don't you stay the same person that you were prior to all of this stuff happening? If you were so awakened by truth, then you should be awakened right now. You should know what's real and what isn't. Has the relationships between you and other people changed that you revere and hold close to your heart? They haven't? Okay, then you know that's not the truth. But right now, I see so many people are tripping out. Oh my God. I don't even want to say their names, but I'm like, are you kidding me? Did somebody pay you to cause this kind of division or to even bring up these type of topics where you would want to have that? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to really honestly be candid and tell you what's up. A lot of these things that you guys are seeing, the sad part is it's revealing the truth about people that we've always liked. Always. Let me see that thing that you and I were talking about the other day. Hold on. Okay. You and I were just talking, Sandy, the other day. And let me look at, there was something we were speaking of, a specific topic. Ooh, wow. You sent me that message this morning. What? Sandy, I just got this text. I'm going to look at it. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for the story you sent me in a text message, but I did not see that you just sent me this morning at 5:28. And I was up at that time too. You could have just hit me. You could have just called me. All right, let's see. Oh, this is the story that you and I were chatting about. Okay, let me read it and see. Oh, we were discussing that applesauce thing where the lady, we were talking about a specific person who went back to talk about that topic and when I tell you, when I went in this man's chat and saw the ignorant stuff that people were saying about is it Michigan, where the lady had called the little boy that was 8 years old and the N word over him taking some applesauce out of her bag. She had a bag sitting there on the table, on the chair or the seat, and the baby that reached over and took the applesauce out, and she called him an N word. I saw it on somebody's channel, and I mentioned it to Sandy, and I wouldn't have done that to nobody's kid. And then they raised $1 million for her. But the dude that's on YouTube, that's on X, honey, I really wish I could show it. I don't want to be that person, though. I don't want to be that person that. Let me just tell you like this. If you are watching somebody and they throw the story to you and the story is just one-sided and they're not brave enough to deal with both sides of the story, irregardless to whether they are an attorney, whether they are a judge, whether they are a congressman in their other life, right? Or no matter what it is, this dude is a lawyer, and it pissed me off. It pissed me off because the way he threw the conversation at his viewers was so one-sided, and what it did is it just, as if you were standing on a large sponge and you were pressing out, it just expelled who these people are. And that bothered me. That bothered me because he's inciting people to keep your comments to yourself. If that's how you feel, as long as you don't act out on it, honey, I can't figure it. But when I see that kind of stuff that I saw in this dude's chat over here on YouTube, I about threw up. I had a fit. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it. But the deal was, yeah, he said he has on here, meet Shiloh Hendricks, woman charged after calling a black child the N-word. And so everybody was going to the say, well, you got freedom of speech. Well, you ought to be able to say whatever you want to say. Okay, we in a theater, and if I say fire and it ain't no fire, am I right? You know I'm wrong. I do not care what a law says. You have to have a moral compass. You don't call nobody's child out of their name, period. If you are a grown woman, an adult, if you are a mother, then you know if that baby sees some applesauce, he gonna want some applesauce. You already know that, especially, for example, say the mom, which I don't know one way or another, because you guys did not hear me talk about this chick. You guys did not hear me bring this up at all. And that's because of how long ago it was. So now he's bringing it up again. And now that he's brought it up again, I thought to myself, that's a pretty low blow, dude. And that's not the first time he's done it in the most recent past. He's brought another topic up. Okay. So here's the thing. As a mother, as a woman, if I see a baby go in a diaper bag or a bag that I have sitting down somewhere, he's a baby. He's autistic. He's 8 years old. Yes, he is. But this is an autistic child. And I would not care if he was a Martian's baby. I don't care. I said it. That's a baby. Give him that applesauce, and then talk to mom or dad. Hey, he went in my purse, and they would have probably said, "We're sorry. He's on the autism spectrum. I don't really think he even had the parameter to think. He's 8 and he's autistic." But we're going to sit here as grown people and say, well, the law say you can say this. Well, the law say you got the freedom of speech. Well, the law say the word is this and that. Okay. And all of those idiots over there in that chat, I said, man, y'all should have seen me. I was scrolling to see if anybody that follows me was in that chat. Because if they were, baby, I was going to make sure I blocked them. Why? Because if that's your mindset, you can't hang around me. Period. Let me do it like this. If that's your mindset, you can't hang around me because ain't none of my fingers pointing back to me. If that's your mindset, you can't come over here. You cannot come over here. You should have seen me. I was swiping my rump off, looking to see how many of these people hang out with us over here. And I'm so glad that we are shedding. I'm glad that we're shedding. I'm glad that the people who are here right now are the people who want to be here, because you guys just want to talk. You guys just want to listen to truth. You just want to hear what I've been digging up. You guys just want to know that BlackRock and Vanguard own Cracker Barrel, and the whole Cracker Barrel label debacle was not about the logo. It wasn't about the logo. Because if you see what they changed it to, you already know that was nothing. A 10th grader, a 9th grader, my grandson who's 14 could have done that. It wasn't about the logo. It was to move your eyes off of him being over there with the WEF, and now this, causing this. But when I get to digging and I get to looking, I'm like, well, everybody tripping about that, but this. So all of the people that you guys see that are right now in that whole MAGA thing, that's a totally different people right now, baby. I don't know who those individuals are. I don't even think that dude is who he say he is anymore. The whole place needs an enema. All of them, everything. It's a wreck. It's a wreck. So yeah, he ticked me off. It was Lionel. I said it. He said it. I'm not going to protect him. It's Lionel. Yeah. And I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it at all. I don't care that you're an attorney. I don't care that you are a lawyer. I don't give a fat frog's butt. Not one big fat frog's butt. I don't care. I don't care at all. $1 million y'all gave this chick for calling a baby out of his name. And the part that gets me is y'all actually thought that was okay, because the law says it. A whole lot of stuff is lawful, meaning you can physically go do it, but it doesn't mean that it's right. You don't get to call nobody's baby out their name. That's wrong. Because if the other shoe was on the other foot, it would have still been wrong. You don't talk about old people. Leave elderly out of things and leave babies out of stuff. I'm wondering, and I'm glad I see it the same way that I mentioned. And I know when this gets over on BitChute, y'all, BitChute, I'm talking about you because it's automatically pulled over there. Y'all some nasty hating people. Some of the stuff that you guys say are you just nasty bots. A bunch of people are just nasty bots. You don't think about the things that you say. You hide behind a keyboard. You hide behind the whole idea of social media. But you know, the sad part is that a lot of these individuals that are saying all these things while they're keyboard bandits would never say those things in public, because they know how crazy and incendiary it is. And if we don't have enough sense to realize that something is being done just to expose who you are, and then this cat leaves in a little bit and another person comes in, and now you're still left holding the bag with all that hatred, I don't know what's wrong with you if you can't see that. If you cannot see that all of this stuff is produced to help you become more hateful and to actually, once all this wave is over, allow you to just stand there by yourself, you'll be standing by yourself. Ain't nobody going to want to deal with you. But in my impression, when you're talking about the elderly, when you're treating the elderly bad, when you're treating and talking about babies, to me, that's not right. Why? Because the same hatred that woman used to call that baby that name, she could have equally as physically put her hands on him. Yeah, that part. She could have done that as well. All right. So with that in mind, I just wanted to bring this whole entire Cracker Barrel debacle with you guys, the whole controversy over the logo and all of that stuff, and then ask you guys, did you know? I got some more did you knows. Oh, and we've gotten a lot of people who have sent us some letters. And so I'm happy about that, because before we go, if you guys remember, about a month ago, I just asked people to just start sending letters. And I have a marketing team that's actually put things in other sectors where you may see some of them, where we're asking if you have letters to send them our way. If you've seen them, you can tell me, put a 1 in the chat that you've seen it. But we have asked people to send us letters. And what I want to know from you guys is, do you guys want them done in a panel form? Meaning once I start to read the letters and give you guys my advice or tell you my take on the letter, do you want us to have a whole forum of individuals that can come up with us and talk? It won't be any of you guys, because I know y'all don't like to be on the screen. But I also know that some of you guys don't like some of the people that I have come on. So if you want to prevent that from happening, come on ahead and go on with us. and get on up here and talk with us and help us sort out some of these stories. We've got some stories from men who have had best friends who borrowed money. We got some stories from men who had the wife walk out on them for a best friend. We've got a couple of moms who are asking some questions, and really short questions. And then we're going to be talking about those things. So that's a good thing. All righty, folks. I appreciate you guys for the last 45 minutes hanging out with you. I see we got some more stuff. Oh, our host has a, yes, I do. I will be 61 on the 10th of September. 61. Ooh. Actually, I'm going to turn the numbers around. No, I don't want to be 16 again. Well, then maybe I do. Because then I can, it's too much. Michael's here. Hey, Michael. Just popping in. Peace to y'all. Don't mind me. I mind you. How you doing? Yes, it is my birthday coming up. One-sided in support of the woman. Yeah, that's how he had it. It was one-sided in support of that lady. And I just thought, wow, that's not nice. That is not nice. Yes, I have a birthday coming up. You can send a card and slip a buck or two. Child, I didn't even notice that. Yes, but a buck or two would be helpful. A buck or two would be helpful because we're still trying to raise enough money for me to get a car because I had an accident last year in my car and I haven't driven since. And as a matter of fact, I want you guys to tell me this. Do you think that I'm going to be able to drive again when I get in the car? Do you think that I will be scared? Because I did have a rental car after the accident. And it took me a minute to get comfortable. And then when I did, it was time to get the car back again. So now it's been a year since I've driven. A year. By 19 and a half years. You got me by 19 and a half years? Ooh, Sarah. Do you guys think I'm going to be able to drive again? Talk to me. Talk to me before we leave. That's one of the things that I've been thinking about. That's one of the things I've been thinking about. Am I even going to be able to drive? Or am I going to be too scared? I am. Sandy already told me, I'm going to come and get your blank. I'm going to come and pick you up. We're going to go somewhere. I'll come and get your A. Sandy said, she said, take it easy. Take it easy, sister. Take it easy. It's a fair question. The roads are always changing. Awareness. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Got to get back on that horse sometime. I know it. So anyway, yes, anything you send me, that's where the money's going. Setting it to the site. I can't say it because he hasn't given me permission to share it. And he's so far away, I wouldn't be able to get it here. But he said, if you can get somebody up here to get it, you can have it. I was offered help by somebody in the chat. Oh, yeah, you can come and get it. It's so far away. But nonetheless, yeah, anything you guys give right now, that's where it's going. Because I really need to get out of the house. I mean, I need to get out of the house. With backup cameras, yes. Go west, young lady. Get out of Huntsville. Come see you. Come stay out there with you. I sure will come stay out there with you. I sure will. We can go fishing. Remember, we were supposed to go almost a year ago. We had talked about it. And I still got my pole. I got both of them. And I need to get another one. Hey, if that happens, then that'll give me an excuse to get another pole. Then I'll have 3. Then I can run all 3 of them at the same time. My ugly stick, my regular Zeppo, which is just like a cheapie. And then I'll get one more. Maybe I'll get another ugly stick. Have a good reason and excuse to purchase some more stuff. Anyway, yes, I will come west. As soon as I get a vehicle, I will definitely come and visit you, my friend. Yes, I will. And I do need to because I'm getting stir crazy in this house. I go to the backyard, but I have to get everything delivered. But I do. I go to the backyard. I'll go walk in the front. I'll get the mail. I'll walk up and down the street sometimes and get some sun on my skin or whatnot. But lately I've been thinking, gee, now that it's cooling down, maybe I'll just go in the backyard and start doing our morning chats on that, on the live that are just up and down like this, whatever they're called. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. I think that'll be good too. Just sit out there in my chair and chill with you guys with my coffee in the morning and we'll just have a conversation that way. That might work. Anyway, All right, folks, we're at 49 minutes and 29 seconds that y'all been hanging out with me. What we covered today? Well, we covered the Cracker Barrel controversy, their logo wars, and but the investors are really who people need to be looking at. That's what they need to be doing. They don't need to be tripping on nothing else but that. And then ask yourself the same thing that Drea put in there. Okay, so you're owning all the food companies. Why? Not because they're popular, obviously. Because that company was going down. Do you have a bigger company that you're trying to smother, which is the reason why you own that one too? I don't know. I don't know at all. But anyway, you guys, no matter what you do, go get you some sauce, and then I will talk to you later. Take care of yourself, because ain't nobody else going to do it. Trust me. I know. You see me saying anything you give me for my birthday goes to the car, and it's been a year. Mwah. Love all of you guys. Love you, love you, love you. Peace.
Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will.
Lockhart Perspective.